So hello guys, for today's video I'm gonna teach you how to install OpenSSL. So first of all, we already installed Kali Linux in our hardware in our machine. So right now I am using Kali Linux in virtual machine, Oracle VirtualBox. So OpenSSL, first of all, is built in every Unix operating system. So to check if it is really inside our machine, so we're gonna use the code OpenSSL version. So if it is not included in our machine or it's not installed, we can use the sudo apt-get install OpenSSL. So this code or this command will install the OpenSSL, but right now I'm not gonna do it because I have already installed the OpenSSL. It might broke or something might happen. So that is the first way. The second way is actually downloading the zip file of OpenSSL in the um, browser or in their official website. So this kind of scenario is um, suggested if you want a specific version of OpenSSL or you want to work on a specific version of it. So first of all, for our introduction, so you can use Open Manual to check the manual for OpenSSL. So man OpenSSL. So this means that is gonna be the manual for OpenSSL. So you can read the description, synopsis, the command summary, and all. So it is this all also included here are the pre-commands or the commands that is written in the OpenSSL. So that's it for our installation guide. It's really easy, guys. So I hope you can install it in your hardware or in your machine. So hello guys, for after the installation, let's try to use the OpenSSL in a more practical way or in a environment or in a scenario where we can really use it for us developers or students. So right now, let's try to check a website's SSL or TLS certification if it is expired or insecure. So this kind of scenario is important to many websites because they forgot to renew their SSL certification. Expired or weak certifications break HTTPS, cause warnings, and it can expose users to attacks. With OpenSSL, you can quickly diagnose if a site is unsafe or misconfigured. So let's try to use the OpenSSL S client. So S client is like a it stimulates a SSL client to interact with the server one. So we can see the handshake, we can see the performing of the handshake, allow inspection of certificates and connection details. So let's try first the bad example of OpenSSL or a bad websites who have a expired SSL. So this is the handshake, the three-way handshake. So this is the raw data we can use or we can see. So not after is like the expiration date of the certificate. So this website is already expired on 2015. So it is a bad kind of a website. So this is example of where you go to a website and you see a unsecured website and the web browser will tell if you want to continue or not. So this is gonna be the outcome if it is a bad example of a web browser. So this is an example of a good good browser with a active or currently not expired OpenSSL. So we're just gonna use some demo websites because connecting to a public domain or other website is kinda illegal or unethical for us. We're just trying to learn something here. Server name, example.com. Oops, connect. So let's just wait. It's gonna take a long time. So here we can see the three-way handshake. And let's try to search for the no after. So it's right. Oh, I can see. Not before April. Not before April 14. Then not after April 13 to 2031. So it's gonna expire in 2031. So this is example of a good kind of website where the certification is valid and not. So this kind of raw data is really um too many for us to identify. So we can use some filter commands to really see the essentials of the certification that we're looking for. For example, we're gonna use OpenSSL X509, a filter tool for X509 certificates to filter out the essentials in reading certification. So you can see we filtered the not before and not after. So the subject and the issuer. So here we filtered out the essential information that we can use. Not like this where we can really see the raw data of the handshake. So it's really gonna be hard for someone like us who are just starting in OpenSSL tool. So in real world usage, you will replace example.com and bad.ssl with the actual domain and name you want to check. And you probably have encountered the concept of SSL and TLSS. TLS, just like what I said before, validation when you open a website that shows that the connection is not private, meaning the certification is either expired or misconfigured. So that's all for our first problem or first real world application of OpenSSL tool. So let's see for the next problem. So hello guys, we're back at it again. So it's like a few hours or a few minutes. We're already here in activity number 2. So the activity number 2 is also about a real world scenario. For example, I have a problem where I downloaded the file but I don't know how if it is authentic or tampered with. So here we were gonna simulate a scenario where we have created a file and we're gonna see if what happened if we tamper it, if the hash value will match or not, or we can see if the file is tampered with before and after. So let's try to make a folder where our text file or our file will be downloaded. Let's try cd desktop. Oopsie. Let's try to make a folder mkdir activity 1 activity 2 open ss cd activity 2 to open ssl. Oopsie. Activity 2 ls. Activity Open SSL. What? Open SS. Small letter. Open SS. So first, we're gonna create a text file where we will try to simulate where we downloaded the file, and we're gonna see the hash value or the value of it untampered with. So let's make a file. This is not a tampered file. So I have created the update.txt where we have, for example, this is a file where we're gonna send through the cloud or through our friends, through other kind of devices like Messenger, Facebook, email. So let's try to see the value of it untampered. We're gonna use the DGST SHA-256 where we're gonna see the hash value of the file. So this command computes the SHA-256 hash value of the file, which serves as the digital footprint of the file. So let's say OpenSSL DGST SHA-256. So this is the hash value or digital footprint of the this file of the update.txt. So let's try to create a text file which contains this, so we can cross-check it later. So let's paste the hash value. Oops. Copy. Paste. Paste. So we're gonna name it SHA-256.txt. So we have already created. So in a scenario where we're gonna send the update.txt and the 25.txt file, so the receiver can also check or cross-check if the file is already corrupted or tampered with. So let's try to tamper it with let's try to update the file and tampering it with other text or other file. So let's try to update it using echo. So I am here. So we're gonna tamper the update.txt. So here it is already tampered, so we can see it using the tool OpenDGST DGST.SHA-256 update.txt. So you can see in the SHA-256.txt where the hash value of the untampered with is really different with the tampered one. So here it is 4C9C. So the first value, 4C9D, is different from the tampered one, 9D24. So let's try to see what is inside the tampered one. So here, this is not a tampered file, which is the first file, which is not tampered, and we updated here using the I am here sentence. So this is a basic checksum matches. So if the checksum matches the original, it is not tampered. But if the checksum value is different, and it differs, the file is tampered with. It is really that simple in checking the file. So in real world scenario, we can send a SHA-256 value or hash value to our friend to see if the send file is tampered with or not. So that is it for our problem number 2. We're gonna go next for the problem number 3. Hello guys, we're back at it again. It's like 5 minutes where I uploaded or recorded the problem number 2. We are in problem number 3. So I want to keep a private file safe so nobody else can read it. So this is kind of a real world scenario or a real world problem that OpenSSL can be used So this is the example. We have created we want to create a secret file, but I want to connect this with the problem number 2, where we have the update.txt or the SHA-256 of the untampered file. So I want to send it to my friend, where she can also cross-check the file if it's not tampered with or not. But I want it to be more encrypted, so nobody else can see it through the cloud, or when I send it through the cloud or other kind of machine. So I want to encrypt the SHA-256 file. So let's try to see what file is it where I saved it. So I want to encrypt the SHA-256.txt, which contain the hash value of my update.txt untampered, the untampered update.txt. So let's try to use the OpenSSL encryption function, DNSC AES256.cbc salt pvkdf2. So here we can see that we have a multi-layer of encryption or kind of encryption function versus the AES256CBC. It specified the AES encryption algorithm with the 256-bit key in CBC mode or cipher blockchaining. So it is more secure, but it is more vulnerable to padding or hacker attacks if not implemented correctly. So we have also SALT, adds a random to the encryption value process, which helps to protect against dictionary attacks. So we have also PBKDF2. This is a key derivation function that applies a cryptographic hash function multiple times to password and add the salt. So this is like a multi-layer of functions that we can add to our encryption method, so it is more encrypted. So we have wrong spelling, ENC. So we're gonna so in what's the file we're gonna encrypt in SHA. In SHA-256.txt. So we're gonna out it SHA-256. So we're gonna enter a password. Let's try 12345. 12345. Wait. 12345. 12345. So we already created the encrypted. So let's try to open it. You open it without decrypting it first. Let's try to open SHA-256. This is the encrypted one. So it is already encrypted, or we can see the gibberish characters. So when we send this we send the update.txt instead of the SHA-256.txt, we're gonna send the SHA-256 encrypted file or the encrypted format. So let's try to decrypt it. For example, I am the friend and I have the password of that file and I want to decrypt it right away. So we're gonna use the OpenSSL2 ENC -d, which is for decryption, AES256.cbc in, which is we're gonna in CBC. We have also salt PBKDF2 inside in SHA-256 encrypt, and we're gonna out it using decrypt that ENC decrypt 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, let's try to open it. Cat decrypt that tech. So let's try to open the SHA-256, which is not encrypted 6.txt. So here we can see we can cross check that the file is not tampered with, but we encrypted it and decrypted it at the same time using encryption, layers of encryption. So that's all for our real world application of OpenSSL. I hope you learned something. And if you have questions, try to contact me or email me for other additional questions in our activity or in our teaching of OpenSSL, basic OpenSSL activities, and application to real world scenarios. Thank you, guys.